wiping people out for generations over a virus we're not even sure yet what the actual fatality rate is? Is this a good idea? If you dare ask it, teenage bloggers with their s'mores in between porn sessions in the basement are writing articles. They want people to die for the stock market. So let's do some numbers now. How many people, Joe, have we lost to the coronavirus? We've lost 5,137 as of this writing. Now, those numbers are in some dispute because in New York, there was an interesting thread yesterday that some of the people who passed tragically in New York died with coronavirus. That does not necessarily mean they died from coronavirus. Matter of fact, there's a large disparity in those numbers when you introduce that. Having said that, let's attribute every loss in New York to coronavirus just for the sake of doing some basic numbers about risks and commensurate responses by the United States government. So we've lost 5,137 people. 6.6 million people lost their jobs this week at the low end. Those are the people who filed. There's probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions more, who haven't filed yet. So let's just say, Joe, for the sake of math, let's go down a continuum. Let's say at the high end, 10% of those people fall into drug use, stress from losing their jobs and their life savings. Let's say 10% of those people. That would be 660,000 people who are going to suffer extremely negative health outcomes. I haven't even gotten into suicide yet. Drug use, alcoholism. I was a question asked yesterday about an increase in domestic violence now at the White House press conference. People whose lives are unquestionably being put at risk from this severe economic strain, impairing their ability to take care of themselves. You say, Dan, that sounds like a lot, 10%. Fair. I agree. That does sound like a lot. Let's say 1% of those people. Probably a little closer to reality, 1%. Let's be optimistic. Let's say, Joe, only 1% of these 6.6 million people unemployed this week fall into alcoholism, drug use. There's incidences of domestic violence. Let's say, again, stress imposed on their, we know stress can kill you if you have a heart condition, blood pressure. Again, we're not even getting into suicide. We know those increase in times of economic malaise, despite the mainstream media's persistent lies on that, because we do facts here, unlike the media, which lies to you. That would be 66,000 people. You may say, Dan, I'm a media hack and I love to lie to people. 1% of people unemployed could suffer some negative health outcome from it, potential death. That sounds too high too. Let's go with 0.1%.
Dude.
Of those 6.6 million people. That would be 6,600 people suffering and potentially dying as a direct result of the severe stress imposed upon them because their livelihoods have been blown away. That's 0.1%. That's 6,600 people. We've lost 5,137. Let's not have that conversation, though. Because liberal Amtrak corridor, bubble-dwelling losers and morons who sit there in their mommy's basement with their s'mores, with their media friends whose jobs are secure because they write anti-Trump articles 24 hours a day, which sell like clickbait to dopey liberals out there who suck them up like a Hoover. Their jobs are fine. They can armchair quarterback all day. So they set up straw man arguments, dutifully lapped up by the media, straw man arguments, Joe, that if you dare, again, I give you the double, dare me, you get the double-barreled middle finger, and I triple down on everything. If you dare mention the fact that a economic shutdown, nearly nationwide at this point, based on the number of states, that an economic shutdown may cause health damage, financial damage, and economic damage far worse than if we were to consider an alternate mechanism for controlling this potentially deadly virus nonetheless. If you dare mention it, Joe, you want people to die for the stock market. Go blank, fill in the blanks, yourself losers. You're not the ones out there. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be okay. In case you think this is some self-serving thing, I'm telling you, we'll be fine. It's not about me. You have no idea, not you in the audience, because you're getting them too. These liberal nutbags in their media bubbles in the Washington, D.C., New York Amtrak tour. You want people to die, open up the economy. You want people, it's about the stock market. You have no idea the rage building in the real world. None. I don't even want to, because I'm game for it. I'm a semi-public figure, but the people I talk to aren't, and I don't want to expose them to the rage mob. I'm going to keep their identities and the names of their businesses obviously out of this. I'm telling you, at least 10 to 20, maybe more communications a day from people who are not politically active, who are friends, associates of friends, and people who know me, who communicate with me every day. The rage building at the response to this is getting to the red line, folks. You are wiping people out. Wiping them out. Because you're listening to teenage bloggers at Mediaite and Media Matters who've never had real jobs. I'm not kidding. Who have never had actual jobs. Some of them are interns in their third year of college, writing articles anytime someone mentions, is this trade-off really a good idea? Wiping people out for generations over a virus we're not even sure yet what the actual fatality rate is. Is this a good idea? If you dare ask it, teenage bloggers with their s'mores in between porn sessions in the basement are writing articles. They want people to die for the stock market.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 at DBongino.